Are you ready?
Yeah.
I need a dollar, dollar, dollar is what I need. Hey, hey. I need a dollar, dollar, dollar is what I need. If I share you my story, will you share your dollar with me? A guy named Aloe Black and one of the baseball players for the Astros used that as his walk-up song. Hilarious, hilarious. And he went from that to I can't feel my face when I'm with you,
Yeah.
and I like it. I've lost my mind, man. I've lost my mind.
This is making it into the show.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Oh man. Well, you know what we're talking about today?
No clue.
So we've talked about the satiating effects of protein,
Yeah,
and we've also talked about protein digestibility between animal and plant sources, right?
yeah, yep, 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 yep.
So I stumbled upon this fantastic little product here called textured vegetable protein, or TVP.
Textured
And
vegetable protein.
yeah, because I was trying to get some different protein sources in, especially for like what I have available up here. Because like I can buy Beyond Burger and I can buy some of the Gardein products. Oh man, we just bought some Gardein, um, like chicken,
Yeah,
like sliced chicken pieces.
yeah, yeah.
They are pretty fantastic.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, they're good. Like I want to make some tacos or something out of them.
Really?
Yeah. They don't have they don't have quite the same mouth feel as real chicken does, but the taste is there.
Huh. Okay.
So it's pretty
Where'd you get it from?
fantastic.
Where'd you get it from? Where do I get
Walmart,
it?
got it in
Really?
Walmart. Yep, Gardein brand.
Okay.
And it's like grilled chicken strips or grilled chicken or something like that. Looks like
Cool.
grilled. It looks like if you were to take a chicken breast, grill it, and then slice it into strips.
Hmm. Hmm. So my experience so far has been, and I shared this with you the other day. When Kathy and I went to our one of our favorite breakfast spots. My experience so far is if I don't expect it to taste like
Mm-hmm.
this,
Yeah,
I enjoyed it way, way, way better. Like
yeah,
that veggie burger I had is it's so funny, man. I wish you could have seen my wife's face. Wish you could have seen Kathy's face when she's like, "You didn't want 3 eggs? No, who are you?" And so I
yeah,
had this wonderful veggie burger. It was really tasty. And for those of you watching, because I think this is going to make it into the show as well, is that I texted Coach Lambie and I'm like, man, did I take a picture? Did I send you a picture?
No, you sent me a picture of the menu.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It was really, really good. I mean, just good. And my wife even asked me, well, does it taste like a hamburger? No, and that's not what I'm looking for. And it was, I mean, I'll eat it again. I'd eat it at least 2 or 3 days a week if I could, but yeah, it was good. So I'm really interested in Gardein. I'm not really looking for the chicken taste. I mean, I appreciate you liking it. I do, but I'm just going to go in and see just be open to the flavor palette and the texture
Yeah,
and see what it is.
the Gardein one is pretty good. I think it's Impossible Foods. Their chicken nuggets taste just like McDonald's.
You've
It's
told me that
it is
before.
exact. Like you can't tell the difference. It is exact.
And for those of you elitists out there, come on, every now and then you got to have a chicken nugget from McDonald's.
Gotta have some
I know,
nugs.
I know it's not Chick-fil-A, but yeah, some chicken nuggets from McDonald's. some of that sweet and sour sauce. Bam! Mm. But
Sophia,
I'm pretty sure that's not real chicken either. That's not true.
uh,
But anyway,
yeah, I don't.
anyway.
So funny story up here. I have very few eating out options.
Mhm.
Um, well,
That's
actually,
true.
that's not true because I do eat shrimp. So everywhere I go, I can get just a shrimp. Most of the time, it's just fried shrimp, and I'm kind of like,
Yeah,
ugh.
yeah,
But
yeah,
anyway, there's very few like fast food options
yeah,
for me up here.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Unless I just get French fries or something. And I know somebody out there is like, oh, the French fries have beef flavor. Me. Whatever, dude. I don't care. Convince me that if everyone stopped eating McDonald's French fries, it would somehow result in less cow deaths. I
Yeah,
don't think so.
yeah, yeah.
What I have up here is Burger King, and they have the Impossible Whopper. And so we go through the drive-through all the time, or I'll order it. We would go inside or something, and I'm like, let me get a number three. And they're like, okay, that's a plant-based patty. And I'm like,
That's why I'm getting
ah,
the number three.
yep, I know. So we were at drive-through the other night, getting it, not last night, but the night before. And we had just come out of Walmart, and it was a little bit late and everything. And so we're like, well, let's just hit Burger King and we'll eat it on the way home. And so we go through, and I was a little not accommodating to other people's feelings and emotions at that point. So the lady was like, just to let you know,
Which
it's
is
plant-based
amazing because
burger. Uh-huh.
you're living in God's country up there.
That's
So
true.
I'm just, there
Yeah.
you go. Just amazing.
And so she said, it was like it's a plant-based burger. And I was like, I'm aware. And Christy was like, bro, you need to be nicer to people. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm just telling her that I'm aware it's a plant-based burger. And so she said, well, they probably get a lot of flack for it. People order it by mistake or something and not knowing that it's a plant-based patty, they probably get a lot. So she went again the other day and got me Burger King because I had to clean the whole house for Cynthia's birthday party this weekend.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to cook anything because I cleaned
Mhm.
I detailed the light switches.
Oh my gosh.
That's how much I cleaned. So,
Oh my gosh. You talking deep clean.
oh, buddy, let me tell
You
you,
need a dollar, dollar, dollar is what you need.
nobody cleans like the Marines.
That's right, baby. Mm-mm-mm.
So Christy went through and she was like, can I get a number three? Yes, I'm aware it's a plant-based patty. And so as she pulled up to the window, she asked the guy, she was like, do you guys get a lot of flack about this patty? And he was like, you have no idea. He was like, people get angry. And I'm just kind of like, well, why? I mean, what's the deal with that? But anywho,
Wow. Wow.
so I guess I need to be nicer to the drive-through people when I order my Impossible Whopper. So anywho, talking about this TVP. So I was aware of this before. I just had never had it. I'd never seen it. You like it's just not available in most stores. Um Even when I lived in Houston, I guess maybe it was at Sprouts or something. I just never saw it. I don't know. But I was watching some Instagram reels and somebody pulled it up and was making some tacos out of it. And I was like, oh man, I should try and get some of that. So I looked up on Amazon. Hey, you can get it on Amazon. Fantastic. Ordered it, got it. I've been trying to go through all of our canned goods from our um, survival surplus stuff. So some of it is getting to its point of expiration. And so I'm like, well, let me eat some of this stuff and that way we can replenish it. We had a big old jar of manwich sauce, sloppy joes.
Yes.
So
Mm.
I was like,
Guilty
well,
pleasure.
let me make a sloppy Joe out of this stuff and we'll see how it tastes. So I got two kinds. I got Anthony's textured vegetable protein. This is soy.
Okay.
And then I got a pea protein. And
Okay.
it's dehydrated crumbles.
Okay.
And that's what it is. So you have to rehydrate it. So most of the recipes you'll find will tell you to put it in some vegetable stock or something like that to rehydrate it, or
Right.
use some bouillon or something. And so I used the manwich sauce and made sloppy joes out of it, and it was fantastic. Especially so the
Did
serving
you use both?
size.
Did you use both the Anthony's and the other?
So I tried them separately. I didn't
Oh,
mix them
okay.
together. I did one
Okay.
and then the other. And so the first one I made was out of this pea protein, and it was pretty darn good. And the serving size in here is half a cup. Now it doesn't really like swell back up, so I don't think that you get really more than a half a cup. Maybe it goes up a little bit. Maybe you get like two-thirds of a cup once it's rehydrated or something, but
Right. Right. Right.
it doesn't really like expand.
Right.
So I made it out of that, and it was pretty good. And so as I was finishing my sloppy Joe there, and I just used hot dog buns, so I just put everything in a bowl and I tore the hot dog bun and I just ate it real quick. But
Love it.
it was
Love it.
delicious.
Love it.
So I was like, well, I had half a jar of half a can of manwich sauce left. So I took a cup of the soy protein and I put it in there and I put it in the fridge so it could rehydrate overnight. So this one, I just cooked it with the manwich sauce and let it rehydrate as I'm cooking. And then the other one, I let it kind of marinate. Oh, after a day or two of marinating, it was even better. It was pretty good, pretty darn good stuff. And I didn't realize it at the time until I saw a study that Simon Hill, he has the podcast The Proof. He posted a study on satiety effects
Really?
between TVP and meat and soybeans. And I hadn't realized until just that moment, but when I ate my sloppy joes, I had them a little bit earlier in the day because I'm trying to eat less. Well,
Okay.
not so much less, but just trying to have different things for breakfast.
Right. Right.
So I had my sloppy Joe kind of around brunch time. I didn't really eat breakfast, and I didn't eat anything until almost the end of the day after that. And I hadn't realized that until I saw this study and I started reading through the study, and I was like, "Holy smokes!" Like I honestly didn't eat that much food when I had these things for breakfast. And even having those sloppy joes, I think there was one day in between where I had something else, but I had sloppy joes twice in a row and then skip a day and then another day. It actually pushed my breakfast times back to where I wasn't even hungry in the morning until it was like maybe around 10:30 or 11
Hmm.
versus like 8:30 or 9 a.m.
Hmm. Hmm. I have something to say about that. But
Okay.
first, what's the name of Simon's podcast?
The proof.
The Proof. Okay, so how do I put this? So I'm very excited about your sloppy joes. Very excited. And with the Anthony's especially. However, what I've noticed is that when I eat a, well, just lack of a better thing, like a veggie burger. If I eat a veggie burger, or if I use a vegetable-based protein substitute, and I hate to even call it a substitute, but if I use a vegetable-based product for my
Mm-hmm.
protein, it fills me up more than if I just powered down a big steak. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I still love beef, but for example, when I had that veggie burger at our breakfast place, I guess we ate maybe at 10:30, almost 11, really more of a brunch kind of thing. I didn't eat the rest of the day. That's not true. I got home. I was wanted to snack a little bit later. This was probably about 5:30, and I had a yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
I was done. I
Yeah,
was
that was
I was satiated for the whole day.
Yeah, I feel the same way too. A lot of my clients, when I first start talking to somebody, and they all think that they have to go, either one way or the other. I have to eat low carb, or I have to do that, or I have to do that. And it's like, well, you're gonna need to do whatever
Yeah,
helps you.
yeah,
And
yeah,
some people are gonna be so breakfast, for instance, like some people can have some cheesy eggs and be perfectly fine for quite a few hours.
yeah.
I can eat a dozen eggs with cheese on it and ask for more. And
Me
then
too.
yeah, so you mentioned the steak
Especially,
thing.
oh yeah, yeah,
I could kill a 16-ounce steak
yeah.
and have mashed potatoes and have
Yeah.
dessert. Like it was nothing. Yeah, and so switching over to plant-based proteins, I do notice that my calorie intake does tend to be quite less. But with this TVP stuff, like I had my sloppy Joe around 10:30ish in the morning, and then I didn't really eat anything for the rest of the day until it was maybe 5 or 6 p.m. And then I
Yep.
just snacked on a few things.
Same. Same. Yeah.
So
Same.
that kind of segues into our study here. So let me
Oh,
share
but
this,
I'm
dude.
before you
Go
jump in
ahead.
there, I need to say this also, but I still do even on that day, I still do my I'd still be doing my morning protein shake and then drink lots of water during the day. But other than that,
Mhm.
so boom.
Yeah, so this study he shared the satiating effect of extruded plant protein compared with native plant and meat protein in a ragu bolognese meal, a randomized crossover study. So what they did
Oh,
here, they had 25 young men, college students, and they basically had one day of some test meals. So they matched calories for each individual person so that everything would kind of come out to be the same, right? So they all had the same breakfast on this test meal day, the same breakfast, the same dinner, and then they had this bolognese thing. And there were 3 different days where they did this. So one day they had bolognese with beef in it, one day they had it with TVP, and then another day they had it with soybeans.
okay.
And they measured a few different things here. They measured um, a subjective sense of satiation. They
Okay.
also measured the protein digestibility in vitro. So in a petri dish, they measured how much protein digestibility there was. So you have this standardized evening meal, a standardized breakfast, and a test meal, right? And so
Hmm.
what they did, they gave these guys these meals. So they had the same meals across all these days, and they also had the same amount of water. So as the guys came in for school for the day, they showed up to the facility at 8 a.m. They were given a breakfast, and then they were given the same amount of water. So they all had the same amount of stuff to eat through the day. 11:45, they came back in and they filled out a visual analog scale, which was
Okay.
100 millimeters. So
Okay.
basically, you have a 2 bars and a line between them, and it's
Right.
100 millimeters long. And so you mark down on that line where you think your satiation is, right? So between 0 and 100, where, how satiated do I feel? And this is actually validated. We've talked about this before. This is actually a pretty accurate way to do it. So you would mark your line, and then they would come back with a ruler and they would measure how many millimeters from zero to your line. And it's actually quite accurate. So they took these measurements about every 15 minutes, right? So it's from 0, 15, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. So they measured their satiety at 0 minutes, and then they ate their test meal, and then they started filling out their visual analog scale every 15 minutes, and they couldn't fill out the 15-minute mark until they were finished eating the
Hmm.
meal. Then they started the
Okay.
15 minutes. All right. And so what they found is that over the course of 150 minutes, after 150 minutes, they gave them um, more food and said, just eat until you feel comfortably full. And so they gave them a known quantity of calories. They ate, and then whatever was left over, they took back and they measured what was left. So, how many
Hmm.
calories were left over? That tells us
Cool.
how much they ate. So,
Cool.
between the 3 different meals, so between meat, TVP, and soybeans, people ate around 200 calories less in that ad libitum meal eating TVP versus meat. So,
Hmm.
the TVP meal resulted in about a 200-calorie deficit. Not so much 200-calorie deficit, but people stopped eating 200 calories sooner than they did with the beef. And
Yeah.
it was even a
Yeah.
little bit more for the soybean.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and anecdotally, I mean, you and I both, that's what we both experienced.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And this was pretty cool because they it was a single blind study, so only the participants were unaware of what
Yeah.
they were getting. The researchers knew what they were giving out, but they did account for things like fiber and weight of the food. And the way they did that was by adding in whole grain rolls or pasta or something. So the meat based bolognese would have much less fiber than the TVP or the soybean. So what they did is they added a whole wheat pasta to that to increase the fiber. So what they were trying to do is they were trying to rule out all of these other things that kind of have an impact on subjective satiety effects. So we know that fiber can help. We know that the weight of food can help. We know that high calorie foods can tend to have a satiating effect. So, not saying that if you have a high calorie meal that you're not going to consume a lot of calories within that meal, but it does, that does have an effect, a carryover effect later on, where if you have a bunch of calories in the first meal, you'll tend to have less calories at the next meal. So they tried to equate for all of that stuff by, making the meals a little bit different by adding fiber through these whole grain stuff
Right, right.
and then also equating the weight. So because as I looked at these things through Chronometer, the weight of TVP versus beef is a little more than half. This stuff weighs about half as much.
Hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So that was pretty cool. So the TVP resulted in uh, less calories consumed after 150 minutes. So they eat the TVP meal or the beef meal or the soybean meal, and 150 minutes goes by, and then they give them a meal and said, "Eat until you're full, eat until you're happy," and you eat 200 calories less after eating TVP versus meat, which is interesting.
It is. So while some of you might be going, that wasn't scientific, or this, that, this, and that. What everything Coach told you is in this document because I've been speed reading it really quick. Um, but everything was scientific. I mean, just detail, everybody, all the details, all the I's were dotted and T's were crossed. And they were pretty stinking, what's the word I'm looking for? Um,
It was pretty
mm,
thorough. It's a pretty
paid it,
thorough,
yes, thorough,
yeah,
paid attention to the details. And I just read the section here on in vitro protein digestibility. Wow, they were super careful with that too, just to make sure that everything was um, even, basically
yeah.
thorough. It's pretty impressive. I don't know if we need to read all those big words, but
We don't need to
it's
read the whole thing.
pretty
Yeah,
stinking. They took care of a lot of issues. What how that was all measured and so forth. Looks good.
yeah. So one of the main arguments, so if people don't know, we've covered this at least twice now, the difference in the protein digestibility and protein availability between
Yeah.
animal-based sources and plant-based sources, and that seems to
Yep.
be an ongoing
Yep.
contention.
Yep.
Still don't understand how it's that way in 2024. Like, get on the boat, people. So they measured the in vitro protein digestibility, and of course, the animal proteins were more digestible than the plant proteins were.
True.
And one of the main things about promoting an animal-based protein source is based on the digestibility of it. That a lot of people will, they'll use that as a reason to incorporate those things into your diet. Well, you're not going to digest all of the plant proteins. And so the protein content that's listed on the package, people can go back and look at our other podcasts on that. The content is the corrected for amount. Okay. So
Hmm.
this number that's on the package already has a digestibility score applied to it. So that is the amount you will be digesting.
Right.
It's a given that
Yes.
plant protein sources are less digestible.
Yes.
So, one of the things that is speculated about how protein has a satiating effect is by increasing the pool of amino acids within the circulating system. And so
Hmm.
that's kind of sensed by the cells, and the cells will send other signals. So they'll produce their own different proteins and other things that will send signals to other parts of our body, and eventually it gets to the brain, and you kind of get this feeling of fullness or um, satiety, basically. And so what they found here is that even though the beef had a higher rate of digestibility, it didn't help in the satiety factor. And even though the meals were matched for protein, it didn't help. Or I'm sorry, fiber. That didn't seem to play a big effect on the satiety of this. What's going on with my camera?
So did you catch what I was saying about satiation is not just a matter of how
Yeah,
full
of your
your
stomach
stomach
being
is.
full. Yeah, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
that's absolutely right. So there's more to it than just how much protein something has, how digestible the protein is, how much
right,
fiber there seems to be something more there where even though the fiber content was matched, and even though the digestibility of the beef protein was higher, it didn't seem to have a higher satiating effect
right,
over the
right,
TVP. So there's something else going on there.
right.
And so uh looking at protein content. So as I was comparing these things, I'm looking at them on Amazon and I was looking at them. So we're going to look at Anthony's. This is the soy protein. This is the soy one. So for 100 calories, we got 33 grams. For 100 calories, we have 17.8 grams of protein. Now, compared to ground beef, 97% lean, 100 calories, we have 17.2 grams. So on a 100 calorie basis, that soy TVP is right on par with protein for 97 ground beef. And that's 65 grams of beef. So it takes half as much TVP to get the same calories and protein.
Okay, so for 100 grams of the Anthony the soy protein, the soy, we said it was 17.8 grams of protein, right?
Uh-huh.
But then when we looked at beef, what was the
Ground
number on
beef,
that?
17.2.
Wow,
So for all intents and purposes, I mean, that's the
it's the
same.
same. It's the same. It's the
It's the
same.
same. Yeah. And then the P TVP, this one's from P protein,
Right.
this is the reason I bought this one. All right. So Acre Made is the brand. 100 calories get you 21 grams of protein.
Wow.
Now, can we compare that to chicken breast? 100 calories from boneless, skinless chicken breast. Oh, wait, what is this? Yeah, skin removed before cooking.
17.9.
17.9.
Wow. Okay, so let me ask you this. So we know that plant-based proteins, we don't digest, uh, it doesn't digest as easily. We talked about that.
Uh-huh.
So out of that 100 calories, that really has nothing to do with the digestibility. If we eat 100 calories of it, there's still, for the pea protein, there's
You're
still 20, there's still
Yeah,
21 grams of
that
protein.
21 grams of protein is the digested score. That is the
Yes,
digested
yes,
amount you're getting.
yes. So I just want to make sure that wasn't confused.
Yeah, because people will say that, oh, well, you're not digesting all 21. Yes, you are.
Right, right,
That
right,
is the digested amount. You can
right,
we lay that out in the way the FDA regulates uh nutrition label regulations, the
right.
guidelines there. So let's take a look here at tilapia.
Ooh, let's look at tilapia, Ben. Oh, I had some tilapia
Let's
the other
look
day. It
at
was excellent.
tilapia. So we want to get to 100 calories. So let's
So
go
easy to get
95.
excited about a trash fish.
It's easy to get what?
So at least here in Houston, I mean, tilapia is really kind of a trash fish out here. And
Yeah.
although Texas State Parks and Wildlife, they don't list tilapia as a trash fish, but it's just kind of a trash fish. But man, it's so good, so good.
It's
Has a
pretty good.
great, oh,
Yeah.
such a
So
great flavor.
a hundred calories of tilapia will give you 20 grams of protein.
Yes,
So
yes,
this acre made pea protein source here, it is incredibly hard to find a protein source that has 20 grams of protein for 100 calories.
that's right.
That's really hard to do.
Agreed. Agreed.
Let's look at one more. Let's look at turkey.
Sleepy time down south.
Ground turkey. I know they have a 99%. Extra lean, fat free. Let's try that. All right. So yeah, so ground turkey, 100 calories. So this is fat free, would be 20.9, so 21 grams of protein. So this pea protein, textured vegetable protein, is right on par with the highest, leanest sources of protein that you can find in the animal kingdom. I mean,
Right.
it is up there. And the soy protein is comparable to 97% lean ground beef and boneless, skinless chicken breast.
That's awesome.
Some good stuff. And then comparing the TVP to beef straight up, heads up, and the scale of satiation is actually more satiating
Yes.
on
That's awesome.
average.
That's it.
So
That's interesting stuff, man. I don't care who you are.
yeah, pretty
Well,
interesting.
some people have problems with it, but
Yeah.
I didn't ask for a number three. That guy may not care, but yeah. So this is really good stuff. Really good stuff.
Yeah. So I think, if you were looking to include some different protein sources in your diet that's going to help with weight loss or some lean bulking or something like that,
Yeah.
TVP, man.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
I think it'll help get you there.
I agree. I agree. That's cool. That's cool stuff. Oh, very good.
Good stuff. All right. Yeah. So I mean, that's about it.
Good episode, man. Good episode. Yeah. So I had eggs this morning. So I could have ate more.
This company Acre made. So there's a little QR code on the back where you can scan it for recipes, and I scanned it, and they didn't really have any recipes for TVP on there, but they do make an egg product that I want to look into because the pictures they had, it looked a lot better than
Yeah.
some other stuff. So just egg is I mean, you can't tell the difference in that thing either.
Cool.
But it'd be cool to
Cool.
get some different things in there.
Cool.
So yeah. All right. Well,
Good
hope
stuff,
somebody, man. Yeah, hope somebody got some from this. Hope some minds were blown. And we will see you guys next time. Coach Lambie and Dwayne out.